Today, I have such an amazing announcement. Well, it's an amazing for me. I've got axolotl eggs. I have them all over my tank and I cannot wait to show you and to show you what I'm going to be doing with them. So let's go take a look and what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get them all out of the tank, separate them as much as I can for those that are ready to develop, those that are early stage eggs, and let's get started.
So come along with me, it's SuzyQue. Hey.
Welcome to QueAquatics and Exotics. My name's Suzy, and today we're going to have a little bit of a story time. I'm going to talk about how I ended up with hundreds of axolotl eggs. So I have three females. They're about 3 years old. Laguna Day, Soshi, and Milko. Those are my three females. My daughter got two females about a year later, so they're about 2 years old. Lucy and Ethel, because one was leucistic. And about a year later, we noticed that they're actually males, Ricky and Fred. So they stay in separate tanks. My three females are in a 40-gallon breeder, and her two males are in a 40-gallon breeder. One time I put them in a tub about a year and a half ago to clean out both their tanks, and they got the upgrade into these 40-gallon. They stay apart. I've been removing the sand. I think I got very lucky. There was no impaction, but I got kind of tired of the sand. So I wanted to remove the sand from both tanks. So I removed it from the female tank. I moved all the females over. It looked great. Then I moved all five of the axolotls over to the other 40-gallon breeder while I cleaned out that tank. Took a little bit longer than I expected. So then when I go to put the males back, I noticed there was like this, almost looked like moldy food everywhere. I was like, oh boy. I thinking to myself, maybe I got some fish food and dropped it in by accident and they didn't eat it. So I'm pulling out my hose and my Python. I'm going to do some water changes. And the Python doesn't work really well on the tanks that are low to the ground. So I was just getting a siphon. I said, let me just get my baster and pull out some of these moldy things. And as I was pulling them out and putting them in a container, I noticed, whoa, these are baby axolotls. So the two that I pulled out busted the egg open and they were hatched prematurely, but they were little tiny axolotls. I got scared, put them back in the tank, and realized I have to do something. The first thing I did is remove the parents. I wasn't sure which ones were the parents. I removed all five adults into this 40-gallon breeder right next to them that was all cleaned out, filled, cycled, ready to go. So once I knew the babies were safe, they weren't going to predate on their eggs. Then I realized I have to pull these eggs out and cultivate them because I'm going to have to separate the male and females. And I am going to go egg collecting today. I'm going to be collecting as many eggs as I can. So I pulled out the eggs. There's some eggs that still look like tiny eggs. And then there are other ones that kind of look like this. See this? You can see there's little baby axolotls inside swimming around. So I pulled them out and put them in two separate containers. And I'm floating those containers in the 40-gallon to keep the temperature just right. So I decided to clamp these Rubbermaid tubs, and I just used what I had. I didn't go out and buy any, to this inside of the 40-gallon breeder for a couple of reasons. It would make it easy to change the water. It's also going to make it very easy to keep this water temperature at 62 degrees, which is what the 40-gallon breeder is at. Now, when you're hatching out eggs, they can go a little bit warmer, but it's easier for me just to keep it all the same, because if I take them totally out of the 40-gallon breeder, they're going to get too warm. So I'm keeping them floating in, well, not floating, they're clamped. There you go, they're clamped. And now I need to feed them. I need to find food. Now that I've pulled them out and I've noticed there's a few free swimming baby axolotls in the tank, so I can't put the parents back in this tank yet. I'm not ready for that. But now that some have already started to hatch, I need to feed them. I'm going to need live food. And I was taken off guard because baby brine shrimp is going to take 2 days to make. And these baby axolotls, I tried smushing up some egg yolk. I tried smushing up some flakes. They don't seem very interested. They really need some live wiggling food. Tiny, tiny food. So since I don't know a whole lot about live foods, I went to my friend Gary's house. And if you're interested in that whole information on all the different kinds of cultures of live foods that he was talking about, and he actually gave me samples of these cultures, so I'm doing my own cultures. I'm going to put that video link right up here so you can check that out. Well, long story short, or long story even longer, that's how I came about with axolotl eggs. Did it catch me off guard? Kind of. In the back of my mind, I thought, ooh, it's going to be a huge project if I breed axolotls. It's kind of similar to breeding betta fish, similar but different. The betta fish, once they start growing up, I have to keep them all separated so they don't, hurt each other. Okay, I found 4 containers I'm going to use for the babies to start off with. I'm going to set up with 4 little air stones. I set up this table. I'm going to start some brine shrimp back there. Oh, I got some more containers back there. These might actually be containers in containers so that I can keep them separate, but I think that'll work also. Yeah. This one has a divider, but I think baby axolotls could get right through it. So I'll just put the air bubbler back there, and they all got to get cleaned out. And it's not that axolotls are aggressive. Something wiggling goes by them, they're going to take a chomp out of them. But the amazing thing about axolotls is they can regenerate just about any part of their body. Even their gills, their feet, part of their back, part of their brain. So I just don't want to go down that route if I don't have to. So that is my story time on how I got to have almost 100 axolotl eggs. Now, do I think all 100 are going to survive? Absolutely not. If I get 20 or 30 out of the deal, I'll be thrilled. I will be thrilled. But right now, I got to separate these parents so I don't have another 100 eggs and another 100 eggs. And that's where the parents are. I'm going to throw in some more floating plants in case they are still throwing eggs. So I'm going to have to find a tank large enough for the 2 males, just so I can separate them, because I can't put them back in this 40-gallon breeder because there's some free swimming axolotl babies in there. So thanks for coming out and checking out my axolotl eggs. I am so excited. Wish me luck. I hope I can give them an amazing life and get them to grow up. Let me know if you're interested in an axolotl. We'll talk. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. Hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. Nah, hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. So come along with me. Said I'm SuzyQue.